You wake to the morning like any other morning. Coffee, keys, the familiar route to the corner store. You tap the map on your phone and it redraws the world. A white space sits where your town should be. No label, no pin, blank terrain. You laugh. A glitch. You type your address into the search bar. Nothing returns. No postal code. No municipality page. No public records in search results. You walk outside. Neighbors hang laundry. Dogs bark. Life hums on. But your GPS is a compass with no north. You feel a small, cold wedge of wrongness in your ribcage. You call your mother. She says she sees it fine. You send her a screenshot. She says she never uses the phone like that. You start to notice details you never noticed before. The street sign at the corner is rusted beyond recognition. The town name is blurred like someone tried to erase ink. You keep the screen up in your palm like a talisman. You decide to prove it or to prove yourself wrong. It should be simple. You set out to find proof that your town exists on paper. The library smells like dust and glue. You push through the heavy door. Old maps hang in frames. You ask the librarian for town plans. She looks at you the way a trap looks at prey. She disappears into a back room and returns with a folded thing. She smooths it across the table, careful, reverent. Rows of handwritten parcels. Boundaries? Names? Your town is a dot with a line that halts at the edge of the paper. There is a blank margin that eats the rest. No notes, no annex. You ask if older maps show more. She swallows and names a year. The page from that year is missing. Not misplaced, removed. You feel a heat in your palms. You leave with photocopies taped to your chest like armor. You stop at the diner. An old man eats pie at the counter. He says he remembers the parade the year the trucks came. They came in uniforms with clipboards. They asked people to sign a form. He signed. So did everyone. He says it was for improvements. He stirs his coffee until it colors the spoon. You write down every detail. Each sentence feels like the foundation of an accusation. Back home, your router blinks like a heartbeat. The internet misplaces pages when you try to pull up municipal files. Satellite images are fuzzy on your town like fog rolling in from a bay. You call the county planning office. A recorded voice transfers you to an operator who has no record of your call. You drive to the county building. The receptionist asks if you are from the neighboring township. You insist. You live in the place she has on paper. She looks at a terminal and tilts her head. I can't find a file under that name, she says. You feel a tightening band around logic. You cross-reference property records. Your parcel number returns as private, redacted. Mail starts getting returned to your mailbox stamped, not deliverable. A package you ordered for a garden shovel loops back to sender. Your social media tags stop functioning when you include location. Photos taken here have metadata stripped clean. It is as if every technological eye has been told not to see. You begin to track the anomalies the way a detective collects fingerprints. Each missing file, each erased pixel is a breadcrumb. You follow the crumbs. At dusk, you find the old highway that used to run through town. It bends in the way a memory bends under pressure. A mile marker is hammered into the soil. The metal is newer than the road and cool under your hand. You dig with your hands until your nails bleed. There is a slab beneath the earth with stamped coordinates, but the numbers don't match anything on any map you own. They match an old survey map hidden under the lining of the library binder. You take them both to a retired surveyor who lives in a trailer by the reservoir. He drinks cheap whiskey and hums as he aligns the numbers. His face drains. He says, "That's not a mistake." He says, "Someone redrew the borders and told the world to forget." You ask who. He stares beyond the wall and says, "Lo, they had reasons." You ask what reasons could remove an entire town from a map. He says, "Power doesn't want witnesses." He says, "Maps are contracts." You leave with a list of names clipped to your pocket. You have a target, and you have made yourself visible. The next morning, a car follows you home. Not one of the polite civilian kind. They ask questions at the diner later with smiles that don't reach their eyes. "Where did you get those maps?" they ask. You decide you will not be caged. You start to gather allies. The librarian, the surveyor, the old man from the diner, the barista who knows how to copy security footage. You trade truths in whispers and filings in back rooms. You plan with the awkwardness of people who have lived honest lives until they learn they must break the rules to survive. You pick a night when the moon is a thin scythe. You strap a bag to your shoulders and slide out through a back fence. The town's edges are not boundaries on a map. They are architectures of control. Power lines reroute like the veins of some mechanical beast. Signs bend to point you back. Roads loop until you find yourself facing the same pawn shop you left an hour ago. You learn the language of the loop. It is patience, observation, and timing. You time a gap between patrols and move fast. Your pulse bangs in your throat like a second heart. You cross the marker slab at the edge of town. An automated siren tries to inhale your name. Your knees want to buckle. You sprint. You leave dust in the air and a decade of complacency behind. On the far side, a gate slams. You make it through a thin slice of light. One of your allies doesn't. You hear the muffled shout, the single gun report. You keep running. You carry the files. You carry the names. You carry the proof. Outside the circle, the world is ordinary and loud. Phones work. Satellite images refresh like something exhaling. You upload everything anonymously to a dozen servers scattered around the globe. You print copies and slide them under doors in city halls. You broadcast to a small AM station that still runs on old tubes. Your voice is raw and shaking, but the message is simple. You read names, you read dates, you read the coordinates that prove where you lived. Within hours, a different current begins to move. Journalists knock your door down the way wind knocks leaves loose. The men in the tinted car reappear, but now they have lawyers and press badges and microphones in their hands. You watch as the world attempts to fold your erased town back into its atlas. Some officials deny, some do not answer. You stand in the middle of a street that is finally being looked at. You think about returning to the rusted sign at the corner. You think about the people who stayed, who signed the forms, who accepted safety at the price of memory. There is a choice. You can stay and help rebuild truth from the ruins. You can leave and watch from a distance as the world redraws lines. You can hide the maps again, fold the town into secret, keep it safe from eyes you cannot trust. You breathe. You are tired, but you are awake. You put one foot forward. The camera pulls back. The map expands, pixel by pixel, until a dot appears where once there was nothing. Whether the dot holds on the paper, whether it holds in people's hearts, depends on what you do next. You are no longer invisible. The story isn't over. It never was.